So you guys clearly had feelings on the Cannon mulling the idea of running for office. So wow. I'm not gonna lie, I expected like a positive response just because you guys have told me to do it for so long, but I didn't quite expect that response. But I'm thinking about it. I talked to a friend. There's already a local Democrat who has like filed to run in that seat. So I might just be getting involved with trying to win that district, you know, put on the old campaign manager hat, whatever. But thank you all for the support. Now that that's out of the way, I want to talk about the political predictions I have for the coming, Trump administration. The first 2 years very specifically, because there's a lot of things that could happen and a lot of things that people are afraid of happening. But the thing I am most afraid of isn't what Donald Trump is going to do. It's what he's going to allow to happen. Allow me to explain. Now, if you remember, Donald Trump's first term didn't accomplish much. It created a lot of chaos. It created a lot of like distrust in the government. It divided the country ideologically and politically. But like in terms of like policy accomplishments, he got a tax cut for rich people and that was it. Everything else was just bluster and bumbling. And this is the thing. Republicans are better at politics, right? Like they're better at playing the game. They're better at scaring people. They're better at making people think something. But Democrats are better at government, which means like the government functions better when Democrats are in charge, but they are god-awful shit terrible at convincing people that they're good at government. But Republicans are terrible at government. You give them the government, it fucking falls apart in their hands, but they are goddamn gloriously good at convincing you it's never their fault when it happens. So do I think that the Republican Party is all of a sudden going to remove their collective heads from their respective asses and learn how to govern a country? No. 40 years of Republicans in politics have taught me they have no fucking clue what to do when it comes to running the government. And they're a party based on dissent, propaganda, and obstruction. So they're gonna be in trouble when they have nothing to obstruct. As terrifying as it seems that Donald Trump has a complicit court, a complicit Congress, and like media like moguls and billionaires bending over backwards to lick his ass crack for him, what he doesn't have is competence and leadership. And his entire party is built on blaming Democrats, pumping propaganda, and obstructing progress. But they control the House, they control the Senate, they have the White House, they have the courts. And if they can't get anything done, who are they going to blame? And that is when they will turn on each other. Okay? Because what Democrats are good at doing is being like, fucking not my circus, not my monkeys, right? They're going to wash their hands of it and they're going to watch them tread water until they drown. And the divisions, like the strange bedfellows that make up the Republican Party, will turn on each other and they will eat themselves alive. And it will start with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk thinks he's the president. Donald Trump thinks he's the president. And that is going to be the first showdown and it's going to be glorious. And Elon's already winning because Donnie hasn't exactly condemned his little salute, has he? So my fear is that while Republicans are squabbling with each other, trying to figure these things out, the subtle signals that like Elon's little salute has sent, not to mention the pardons of the January 6th people, that is sending a message to right-wing extremists and militias that like, hey, you know what? We're totes cool with whatever you do as long as you're doing it on our behalf. And that's dangerous for a lot of like normal, regular people who aren't in the lunatic cult. However, it could also backfire because right-wing extremist militias tend to have, extremist positions. And they also tend to be very much into like the purity politics. So anybody that steps out of line even a little bit with their goals and objectives is fucking an enemy and deserves to die. And as the internal policy fights start happening within this fractured and fucked up Republican Party, I could see militias turning on militias, right? This is going to be a right-wing dog eat right-wing dog world while left-wing dogs just sit back and like wear their sweaters. You want to see Rocky's sweater? He got a sweater on. My point is, right? Like I would be scared of the social ramifications, what happens to society, a little bit more than I would worry about what happens to government. Because if we can hold them off long enough and make sure the elections actually happen in 2026, we could stop a lot of the bleeding. In the meantime, protect yourselves and I guess, I don't know, hang out, be groovy.